Good evening and welcome to Caribbean Body Talk. This edition of Caribbean Body Talk brings you Caribbean Kitchen. Now we're going to bring you a special recipe and a special dish from a special place. But this restaurant is not in the Bronx, it's not in Brooklyn, it's in St. Lucia in VG Cove. And we're going to have a special dish prepared by chef proprietor Xavier Rebot, Pepper Pot. And I happen to have him here right now. Come in.
Hi.
Welcome to Caribbean Body Talk.
Good evening. Thank you very much.
Tell us a little about your establishment, the Coal Pot.
Oh, the Coal Pot is a very old establishment. It's been owned by the family for the last 30 years. And it's been very well known in St. Lucia. And we had a very nice place close to the water, and people really enjoy it. And the food is a combination, due a little bit to me, a little bit of combination of French food and the Caribbean food. So we're trying to get the local products and maybe put a touch of the French cooking in it, and we get to something interesting, and people seem to be very happy about it.
And the special dish you're going to prepare today?
Now that's a special one. We call that the pepper pot beef, and it's a very, very old dish who's been in the Caribbean from the beginning, where we use this dish to feed the people in the plantation, the banana plantation or sugarcane plantation. And at the time where no fridge, we was not able to keep the food in the fridge, we had to use something we call castrip, and that comes from Guyana. And these products will be able to conserve, to keep the meat right for the next day. So that was the special about this dish.
Okay, well, we're going to enter into your kitchen and prepare pepper pot.
Okay, that's good.
We'll be back after these messages on Caribbean Body Talk, BVCTV, New York. I'm Christina Perry reporting. Welcome back. This is Caribbean Body Talk at the Coal Pot in, where are we located?
VG Cove.
VG Cove in St. Lucia.
St. Lucia.
And you're going to prepare pepper pot.
That's right.
Okay, well, how do we begin?
So, first thing, here we have a canary, and that's what we use here to cook it. It's a very nice thing because it will cook slowly and it really has the right taste in it. Now, if you don't have that at home, you can always use like a big pan, thick one, who will be able to keep going for like 3 hours because it needs to cook very long and very slow. So, and a wooden spoon. What is very important, we need a wood spoon. You cannot put any metal in it due to this cast strip there, but I will explain that later. So the pepper pot.
In reference to the pot that you used to prepare, is this what was used in Guyana when this dish was made?
Yes, this was used, but they had some big metal one too, because he was like 150, 200 workmen there in the field, and they had to do a lot. So they can use a big tish, what we call a tish with metal. We have some outside, maybe I can show you, but it's really big. Okay?
Let's begin.
So now, I have the beef there, 3 pounds more or less, 3 pounds. Here I'm going to cook for 12 to 15 portions. I mean, that's for the restaurant, that's maybe a lot for you, but you can divide it by 2 or by 3 if you do it at home.
What particular cut of beef is
that's the stew beef, okay? Any stew beef, that will be fine. It don't have to be the best quality meat because it's going to cook very long. And here we have the pork chowder. Again, we have like 3 pounds. It's a little bit fat, but that's not a problem for this kind of dish. It's a very traditional dish, that's not a problem. And here I got my pigtail.
Oh, pigtails.
Pigtail, salted pigtail. And we got some pig trotter. You call that the pig foot?
Pig feet.
Pig feet, okay? And this one, the pigtail is been salted. It's salted pigtail. So be careful when you do this dish, do not add any salt in it, because that will give the salt in the dish.
Okay.
Very simple dish to do. I'm going to pour everything inside. Okay. So here we have pig and you have the beef. We got everything inside.
How often do you prepare this dish for the coal pot?
it can go ahead for like once a week normally. I do 15 portion, maybe twice a week when I'm really busy. But normally once a week it's enough. Like today is the beginning of the week and I do it for the whole week there. Now that's the secret of the pepper pot. The pepper pot will never go bad if I taking care of it. I don't have to put it in the oven. And that's what is amazing. Some of the restaurants and some of the places, they have it going for like 2, 3, 4 years non-stop. What the situation is, you keep it on the side of the stove. When you finish, you always make sure you have a little bit left over. So if you see you have one more portion, you say, sorry, it's too late, I have to keep this one. And here you're going to do exactly what I do now. You add everything again
to
the existing cook. Okay. And you just put a little bit more of the casserip, you put a little bit more water, all your seasoning pepper and thyme and fresh herbs and everything, and you let it cook again. And when that happens, 2, 3 days later, you keep going. And some restaurants, some people say in Barbados, for example, is one restaurant who carry it for like 20 years already. It's very, very easy to do, very simple, and it's quite interesting. This casserole gives it a nice sweet taste. Okay? That's a leftover. I get it from Guyana, and it's very difficult to get. That's come from the cassave. The roots is being extracted from the cassave, and that's what we got the casserole. If it's not well done prepared, it can be a little bit strong and not so good. This one in Guyana, they say that's the best one to get.
So what would one use in, say, their local who may not have access to this? Is there anything else that they would use?
Yes, it's a whole situation of the Indian in Amazonia, the Guyana, the south of Guyana. They use that because they don't have a fridge, they don't have electricity. Oh. So to keep their meat fresh and in good condition, they use that. It's like I don't know if you will understand my English. A preservative, a conservator to keep it, and that's excellent. And it's natural. You sure there's no chemical in it, and that's what keep it like that. It's a conservator. Okay. So now, when you got all your stuff in it, all your meat inside, you're just going to do the ingredient to it. I have some bay leaves there.
Okay.
I can just put a little bit here. I have the normal onion and the garlic. Mm-hmm. Here I have the spring onions.
Scallions.
Sorry, that's how we call it here.
Right.
Or in patois, we say til oignon. Mm-hmm. And here we have the seasoning pepper. This seasoning pepper, it's very, it's not hot at all. A lot of people, when you see that, you say, oh, it's going to be hot. This one is not hot. You can really bite it, it's no problem. But now, careful, this one is a very hot one. You have to be careful when you use it. If you like cut it and after you're going to touch your face or you're going to touch your mouth, it's going to burn you for a good while. And this one I'm just going to put a little bit. Normally they put quite a lot. It's a very hot dish, but because the guests not always or everybody like it hot, I just put a little bit in it. Okay? So I'm going to start with this one there. I'm just going to, you see, like half of it will be enough. Okay. And I'm careful with it, with the board and everything. I just, okay.
And that will be enough for this large?
That's right.
Okay.
I mean, if you really want, if you like hot food, you can put the whole thing. Okay. But for me, I just be careful because it's always better to add and not make it too. Now, this one is a seasoning pepper. This one, you can get it red, you can get it orange, you can get it green. So sometimes you have to be careful. At the market, I asked for seasoning pepper, and the lady, no problem, she gave me my seasoning pepper, and when I start to cook with it, one hot pepper was mixed inside, and I got catch. But that's part of it. So we have some of this seasoning pepper there. The same, I add it inside. We have the thyme again, because it's a old dish, is a rough, I would call that a rough dish. You don't worry how you cut your vegetable, how you cut your herbs and everything. Just go strong like that. Big chunk, big piece is not a problem. If you start to do a nice cut, like a French cut maybe, it will not make sense, it's a...
Because it all cooks in.
That's right, and it's going to cook for a long time. And when the dish is finished, you're not going to see the difference between the garlic, the onion, the seasoning pepper. It's all going to be one. So I just cut that. Okay. my onion.
Okay, the size of the way you have cut this onion, that's the proper size? To make it smaller?
That's right. It don't make really a difference, like I say, because when it cooks for 3 hours after that, you don't really see it in your dish. So I clean that. And here we have the, how you say that in?
Scallions, green onions, that's what we call them in the U.S.
Or young onion, I don't know. It's the spring one. So again, the cut is not too important there.
Okay.
And it's quite interesting because sometimes the cut can make the difference. If you cut it the same size or very thin, it's not going to be how it's supposed. And the bottom line, you do a dish, it's a traditional dish, you have to keep it the traditional way. Don't try. Now, that was not enough. Here I have 3 onions. Okay. I have like 4 or 5 seasoning pepper. I have a little bit more of thyme and I have a little bit more of the spring onions there. And I have a little bit of garlic. Okay, my garlic was there. So I put all that inside. It has to be very tasty, you know, and I do quite a lot. So I say like 3 onions, a head of garlic, maybe 4 or 5 spring onions, 5 or 6 seasoning pepper. And that's it. Now I'm going to mix up everything like that. And look and see, it's quite nice, huh? It's fresh.
Colorful.
Yeah, okay. So we get it there. And I mix it properly, so...
All the ingredients?
Yeah. What I'm going to do now is to put a little bit of oil. You don't really have to put the oil, but I do it so I make sure the bottom at the beginning is not going to attach to stick to it, you know, it's not going to burn. So I just put a little bit of oil just to give some fat a little bit, because you have a lot of pork there and the pig trotter and everything, that's all fat. So don't worry so much to put. Yeah, you have the natural one. So I got everything. Okay. Now the pig trotter is what's going to, the pig feet is what's going to make the dish a little bit, give a consistency, make it thicker, you know.
Okay.
So you must have that in it. That's what, you don't put flour, you don't put cornstarch, you don't put anything, just natural like that. Okay? Now I'm going to add some water. Now the water, don't put too much. You have to just get to the level of the meat, maybe a little bit under.
Okay, just below the level, the top layer.
The surface of the meat, yeah. Because if you put too much after that, it's going to be too watery. And when your meat starts to cook, it's going to reduce and it's going to go down. So you will realize, and you get the juice from the meat and everything, so you realize that's enough.
It smells good, just...
and it's not cooked yet.
Right.
And here I put the castry.
Okay.
That's it. Now we come to this special dish here. And that, to get this one, I don't know how you get. If you have some family in Guyana, or if you have any contact, just try. I get it by a lady who go quite often, every 2 months, and she bring me. That will be more or less just enough for the dish.
What measurement would that be about?
I will say in ounce, maybe you know the spoon you use for the sugar, 1 ounce. Let's say 1.5. Okay. That's more or less. And you see how it's thick and it's black. It's a very interesting thing. And I just let it go. And that's what's going to make the taste of it. That's what's going to keep the meat fresh and conserve the whole dish. Okay?
Wonders in that little bottle, huh?
Sorry?
Wonders in that bottle.
That's right.
This is something that was used many years ago because of necessity, but now...
No, it's not being used anymore, because you can do, if you want, you can do this dish. When you finish, you put it in the fridge and you put it out the next day. It will be good.
Right, but the authentic pepper pot.
One, that's right, because they didn't have this fridge and they didn't have the possibility to keep it in a cool place. That's the only way. How
expensive is the castries?
Oh, that's not too expensive. I mean, of course, because the lady will bring it to me, but I pay like something like 15 EC dollar, let's say 5 to 10 US dollar maximum for that.
Okay.
It's not a very expensive. It's from cassave. And the cassave is something we get everywhere. You have a lot in Africa, you have a lot in South Africa, and it's not too expensive. Okay? Now I have no more, I will have to get some.
We used the last. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Just for us.
So I didn't put any salt. I'm going to put a little bit of black pepper in it, okay? That's what it's important again. You can use this one with fresher, it will be better. But you have to do it for like 10 minutes if you really want that. Don't worry, it's a hot dish, so you can go ahead, and that's what brings you the taste. The garlic, the onions, all the seasoning pepper, all these things. And that's it. Now I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it in the fire, and I'm going to start it quite fast at the beginning, you know, to let it boil. And when it starts to boil, I keep an eye on it and I reduce the fire and I leave it for like 2 hours, 2 hours and a half, 3 hours, to depend on the quality of the meat and everything. But don't forget, you have your pigtail, you have your pig trotter, and that takes a long time to cook, you know. And that's it. Use always a wood spoon because of the cast strip. The cast strip and the if you like, for example, I'm in the kitchen and I stir this sauce, and after I come and I mix up, that's not going to be good for it. So I always say to the staff, use a wood spoon and make sure you clean it each time you use it. And I do the same, I always clean the spoon before I use it. Okay? And that's it. And now I think we'll have to wait 2 to 3 hours and we'll be able to try the dish.
Okay.
Let me put it on the fire.
Ready?
Yeah.
It's soup's on. Do you? Okay. Is this cooked uncovered?
No, I'm going to cover it. I don't cover it until it starts to boil.
Okay.
So I'm sure, you know, I keep an eye on it and it's not too important. But after that, when it starts to boil, I just put down the fire and I cover it. Okay?
Okay.
I think everything is done.
Well, the preparation is now complete. We will return.
No.
When we return, we will have pepper pot. We will sample this dish of Guyana made by Xavier here at the Coal Pot.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
So see you in a while.
We'll be back with more. Okay, welcome back. We're here at the Coal Pot in St. Lucia. We just left and they were preparing. Chef Xavier Rebot was preparing pepper pot. The meal is now complete and we're going to go into the kitchen and sample some of that delicious pepper pot. Here we go. Okay, the pepper pot is now ready?
After 3 hours, it's ready. And we can go for it.
Okay, let's go for it. I'm starved.
Good. Okay. So you really cook very slowly, and now we get the result. Heavy. Here we go. Still bubbling. You see the canary keep it hot like that, and that's a very nice. And here we get all our meat. We reduce quite a lot. They look very nice. Not overcooked. What is very important, you don't overcook and you stay nice pieces in it. And we can really smell everything. Okay. So now we have to get ready with some local provision, some local vegetable, some rice, and that's it. And we eat it just...
Serve it up.
Serve it up. Okay. So I will put that on the side. I'm going to do the plate.
Okay, what do we have here?
Okay, here we got some, let me show you. We have a normal rice. I mean, that's no surprise. I just put a little bit. We'll put. Okay. I put quite a lot of fresh herbs in my rice to give a little bit of taste. Okay, and here we get the local provision. We have the plantain, ripe plantain.
Okay. And how was that prepared?
That was just everything in a pan and boiled to be cooked, and that's it. Nothing else. Very simple. So we get the plantain. Here we get the sweet potatoes. One piece of sweet potatoes. Here we have the dashin. And this one is the tanya. All ground provision we grow here in St. Lucia. And it's very good for your body. Okay?
Okay.
And now
the big finish.
Now I use a clean spoon to go in. Make sure it's clean. And here. Now you have to be ready to eat that because there's a lot of bone in it. You have to use your finger. It's not a problem with that. And the meat and it's because it cooked for 3 to 4 hours. Now it cooked for 2 to 3 hours. It's very nicely, very soft. It's very tender. I don't know what I did there.
It looks good. It smells good.
And that's a very rich. I mean, it's a full dinner there, or a dish will really keep you going for the day.
The day, the night.
The night.
And wake up and look forward to the next day.
And a little bit of parsley. We'll keep it very traditional. A little bit rough. And that's it.
Okay.
I will say in French, or we'll say in patois, in the local language, we'll say bon appétit.
Okay, time to sample.
So you want me to... Oh, it must be very hot, so just be careful.
Okay.
It's supposed to be very tender and very tasty.
This is spectacular. It was worth the wait. Chef Xavier, you are an artiste?
Oh no, it's a pleasure. It's something, when you have the chance to cook all the time and to be able to enjoy. Eating, you have to eat every day. So if you can enjoy it every day, that's a pleasure,
Well, you've done a wonderful job.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to finish eating, but I have some important business to do right here. So we're going to get it over with. Okay, as you can see, and as I can taste, we have just seen the preparation of pepper pot here at the Coal Pot, which is located in St. Lucia. Chef Xavier Rebot used the last of his seasonings to prepare this for us today. And I want to thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I know you had a very busy day, and we really appreciate the time you took for BVCTV New York to prepare this.
Thank you.
This concludes this particular edition of Caribbean Kitchen, but I promise you we'll have many, many more, as I will personally see that we do as many as we can. But before I go, I would like to leave you with this message. Surround yourself with a few good people. Share love, respect, and knowledge. It will make a difference. I'm Christina Perry reporting for Caribbean Body Talk, BVCTV New York. And we'll see you next time on Caribbean Kitchen. Bye-bye. You gotta go. You know what I mean?
Love is the one thing I wouldn't want to live without. I know it's a sure thing, no doubt, yeah. Money ain't no cure when you're lonely and blue. You've got to have that someone who's really close to you. Say yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm singing this song for you. You're my square. someone. You give me a love that's true. So now you know that I'm singing this song for you. Everything I do